Hi, everybody. It's Jay, and I am back in the booth with you for another sneak peek video preview for this week's new release here on Say with Jay. Now, if you've been listening to Say with Jay for any length of time at all, you know that we alternate every Friday between world exclusive, brand new audiobooks that you've never heard anywhere else that happen to coincide with Jessie's book releases. And then on those other Fridays, we've been working on our back catalog, the audiobooks that Jessie and I have done that have been up to this point exclusive to audible.com. Now, we do those a series at a time, and today we are starting the final series in our back catalog, and one that I know I'm very excited about. It is one of the most enduring, certainly one of the most loved, and definitely the most requested series for us to bring to Say with Jay. I'm talking about the original Sweet Water Billionaire Cowboys Sweet Romance series. And this week's new release is book one of that series, The Cowboy's Best Friend. It is some of Jessie's best writing. It certainly is what got me hooked. And if I'm being honest, I'm actually a little bit apprehensive about this particular release. Let me explain. You know, this release actually came out on Audible 3.5 years ago. Some 65 plus audiobooks that Jessie and I have done together ago. And, I think it's human nature to want to be better at everything you do. I don't think anybody tries something for the first time and says, yep, that's the best I'll ever be. It's downhill from here. We all want to get better, whether it's, you hope like today you're better at your job than you were your first day. Or if it's a hobby, playing golf or gardening or needlework or quilting, you hope you get better as you go along, and you work to do that. And, I'm no different here. I guess, in a sense, I'm my own worst critic. I know that. When I listen to an audiobook, I tend to, especially one I've done, uh, as opposed to somebody who's just listening to it for pleasure, I tend to hear it from a more technical starting point. I mean, I hear the breaths and the mouth sounds and the clicks and things in the delivery, like why on earth am I talking so fast, and things like that. And I think that things that sound perfectly okay to lots of people, I just have a bigger problem with, because I know now I hopefully am much better than then. And I've, if I'm being honest, I've kind of struggled with it a little bit. Not a lot. No sleepless nights or anything, but it's kind of been just a nagging little thing, that releasing this. It's like, but I've been trying to find some guidance about how really we should feel about that. And one thing that kept coming up, and that I saw again just today, was Paul's letter to the Philippians. I think it was chapter 3, where he talks about the Christian walk being like a runner in a race. And he says that, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, that in our lives, in our walk, we've got to be like that runner and stay focused on the road in front of us. That a runner can't win a race if he's focused behind him. Of course, I think the main point of that verse is saying that you can't allow your lives to be controlled by what has happened to you in the past or what you've done, that you've got to stay focused ahead. But I do think it has some effect on how much should you worry about, things in your past. But at the same time, I think it's also a blessing and a gift to be able to look back whether you're reminiscing or just taking an objective look at where you were at a point in your history. Because without that, you can't gauge progress. If you don't know where you started, there's no way to know and appreciate how far you've come. So I guess what I'm saying is maybe I shouldn't be apprehensive at all. Maybe I should be as excited as this event deserves to have this first book in this wonderful series coming out this Friday. And we do have a sample of A Cowboy's Best Friend here for you. So I hope you'll give it a listen with a kind ear and hope you enjoy it. And then I hope you'll come back this Friday for the full release of The Cowboy's Best Friend here on Say with Jay.
Hey, here comes the rain. Hear it? He smiled and tilted his head. Yeah, she said softly. It'll hit the barn roof next. We'll really hear it then. A few seconds after he said that, the drumming of the rain on the roof reached them. There it is, she said. Suddenly, lightning hit so close they could hear the crackle. Thunder followed immediately, shaking the house and making the air vibrate. Ames yelped and jumped toward Palmer. Hey, it's okay, he said softly. She laughed. A little self-conscious, a lot nervous. She put her hand on his chest, solid and strong and warm. His arm came down from the back of the swing, going around her shoulders and keeping her close to him. You want to go inside? He asked just as the rain reached them in torrents, smacking the house, blasting the porch roof over top of them, and beating into the ground. No, she shouted over the noise. She felt safe and comfortable against Palmer. The strange excitement that built in her chest because of the storm still buzzed, twisting her heart and making her restless. But not restless enough to move. She leaned her head against Palmer's chest, and she felt his cheek rest against the top of her head. The dark and the rain, the warmth coming from the chest under her cheek, all combined to make her feel like this was one of those times in life she wanted to cherish. Just relax and enjoy, then tuck it away in her heart for safekeeping and occasional enjoyment. For the rest of her life, she could pull it out and remember the smell and the sound, but most of all the feel of the cowboy beside her, holding her and keeping her safe and warm. The rain kept falling, and the lightning still flashed, though each crack of thunder sounded farther away. Finally, the downpour slowed to a drizzle and stopped completely. Only the drip of water falling from the roof broke the silence. Palmer's familiar rugged scent mixed with petrichor combined to form the most delicious smell on earth. Ames breathed deeply of the sweet mix. She didn't know how long they sat there like that, snuggled together. She and Palmer had done many things over the years, but she had never ended a day snuggled up next to him. She liked it. But the longer they stayed like this, the more she worried that it might impact their friendship, make it awkward. After all, she didn't snuggle on the porch swing in the dark with any of her other friends. Because of this, she was extra reluctant to move, not wanting to break the spell and face the consequences.
Hi, this is Jay, and thanks for listening. If you're ready for another great audiobook, here's one we think you might like. Or check out the playlist with all our latest releases. Don't forget to subscribe to Say with Jay, give this video a thumbs up, and tell us what you liked in the comments.